This is a 2006 Toyota Highlander. We've got the driver's side window that is not working. This video I'm going to show you how to put this window motor into this door. It's an easy process that you can do with just a couple of screwdrivers and a 10mm socket. So keep watching. This is a little stack of new replacement window motors. These work for the Highlander, the Camry, the Sienna, and maybe some other models too. So I keep a bunch of window motors on hand, and anytime I use one, I order a new one. I'll include a link to these window motors in the video description. The first step is to remove the door panel. There are three things you must do. One is to remove this screw and the cover of the handle, and then you remove this little insert and there's a screw at the bottom. And then you also remove the door switch. I'm going to show you how. With a small screwdriver, pry this little tab right here. Then with a Phillips head screwdriver, remove this screw. Next, you use the small screwdriver blade to insert into this gap, top and bottom. And when you do that, you can pry this cover off. Now we want to pry this piece out. Somebody's already been in it and damaged the back sides. But you can just reach in with a screwdriver, pry it out, front and back. It comes out. This gives you access to the Phillips head screw back there. Next, we remove the window switch. Take the small screwdriver, insert it in, and pry up. You pry this tab up, and normally there's a tab in the back, but this has already been broken off on this door. Disconnect the switch by pushing down on this tab right here. Normally there would be a plastic rivet right here, but it's already gone. Final step before removing the door panel, the plastic cover for the mirror. So this door panel is ready to come off, and all you have to do is pull firmly on it starting from the bottom. Just get your fingernails or your fingers or a tool behind this and pull up. The door panel is off, and there's just one more thing, which is the connector for this door light, and it just has a little tab on top and it pulls out. You can see that somebody's been in here already and ripped up the vapor barrier. For the next step, I reconnect the switch and I pray that the window comes down to a partially open level, because this will make things a lot easier. The speaker has to come off. First, disconnect the plug from the speaker. Next, it has three 10mm bolts holding it. The reason I removed the speaker is so I can get to the window retainer bolt right here. And the second window retainer bolt is down here, and I also can get to it. And then the window can be disconnected. The window glass can be disconnected from the window regulator. With the window glass separated from the regulator, push it and pull it up all the way and tape it to the top of the door frame with painter's tape so it doesn't go anywhere. Now I'm going to free up the vapor barrier plastic and fold it back. I've rolled it up and I'm holding it up with tape. Just need to do enough to get access to these bolts that are behind the vapor barrier. There are just 6 bolts to remove. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this 6th one has a mounting slot, so you can leave this bolt engaged into the regulator. It'll make it easier to install later. Don't forget to unplug the power connector. Just has a tab on the back that you unplug. So the regulator can be collapsed and it just comes right out of this opening. This looks like an original Toyota motor on this regulator that is on this car that is about 17 years old. So the motor is attached to the regulator with just 3 Torx head screws. I'm going to show you how we remove them and replace the motor. This is a T25 Torx and it fits right in here. I use this handy little impact driver. Screws are off and the new motor is ready to go in. Just like that, kind of. I've reinstalled the regulator. It's a little bit higher position to make it easier to work with. Now make sure you start these little screws by hand and do not strip them. Get this plastic gasket from the old motor. It pops right off and it goes onto the new motor. So there, the gasket is attached to the new motor. The regulator with the new gasket is ready to go back in, and I use this bolt to hang it back onto this hole. I do suggest that you apply lube or grease to the gears before putting it back in. To start with, we have this leveling bar, and it goes into the 2 holes up here. The leveling bar bolts are started. Now we can thread in the 3 other bolts. All 4 bolts are threaded in, and as I said, I reset this window a little bit higher to give me better access to these mounting holes for the retainer. Now I can drop the window down and bolt it into the retainer. All the bolts are tight. Now we can plug the switch back in and test the window. It's working just fine. We need to lubricate the channels a little bit with some Tri-Flow lubricant, and then it's going to be just fine. This is the lubricant I use for the window tracks, and I just spray it in like this, both on front and back. I'll include a link to this in the video description. This lubricant helps to make the window action very smooth. Putting it back together from this point is pretty simple, just the same as taking it apart. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.